Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining as we're going to discuss some of our favorite books that you can request at the Fresno County Public Library. Part of our job as children's librarian is giving recommendations when asked by our users. You know what? Sadly, we're not seeing them in person as much, so we want to give you recommendations here on YouTube. I'm Eric Dunnicliffe. I'm a children's librarian at Woodward Park. Ashley, can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Ashley. I am a children's librarian, mostly at Fig Garden, and then on the rest of the branches of the West Side.
All right, wonderful. So I've got some trivia, and our topic today is counting and alphabet books. And I wanted, instead of normally I do like a trivia question to begin this, but today I really wanted, it's kind of hard to find a good trivia question. So, but I was looking up facts on the alphabet, and I got some fun ones for you, Ashley. Maybe you'll learn something new. I don't know. The last letter added to the alphabet was around 500 years ago, and it was the letter J.
Thing in progress.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I think originally there was like 23 letters. Most people would think like, oh, it's the last two letters that were the last. I think Y and Z did come later, but J was like the final one we have now in our English alphabet. But it's based on the Roman alphabet, which is based on the Greek alphabet. And the word alphabet comes from alpha and beta, was first used in Latin form alpha beta. So cute little fact. What do you know what the dot on the top of the I is called? And I guess technically the J.
Is it a jot?
The dot. So the official term is title, and I did not know this, so I understand if you didn't.
That was like the cross on the T, the title or the tittle, whatever you want to call it.
I guess that could be a title too. I wonder if yeah, but yeah, what I found out. So, and do you know the most commonly used word or the letter in the English alphabet?
If I had to guess, I would say it's E.
Yes, that is correct.
I have 4 in my name, whole entire name.
4, yeah. Well, I have the first letter, but then my last name weirdly doesn't have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the most common word in the English language has E in it.
The,
yeah. The is the word, yeah. So, yeah. So, the great thing about the subject we're dealing with today is alphabet and counting books are a great way to kind of blend pre-literacy skills with letter and number recognition in a fun way for your kid. And then the thing, and I noticed about both your selections and my selections, they can deviate in reading levels from just toddler all the way up to maybe 3rd, 4th grade. Do you want to go ahead and first? Do you want to, what do you want to start with, alphabet or counting?
Let's start with counting.
All right, let's count. Yeah, let's count the books we got here. All right. So,
you want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so my first counting book that I have is called This Little Piggy. Jarvis. Yeah. I really like his stuff. He's got a lot of board books and some other stuff too. But his board books are really great. They're really colorful and pretty simple. And they're usually kind of silly. Yeah. Right? So this is This Little Piggy, and let's count from 1 to 10. And so you're just going to go through one little piggy went to market, and then you've got other stuff you can count here if you want. And then 2 little piggies had a car but couldn't park it. So yeah. Kind of silly. So you're going to count up. He also has, like, I read his Mary Had a Little lamb. Maybe it's llama. Anyway, it's a good color one.
All right, cool.
I really like his.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was looking for him. We're gonna have to definitely order more of those because yeah, that's an author I haven't.
Yeah, as I've been putting together board book bundles like
Yeah.
during the whole thing, I've been making like all of his. I was happy that I found this because usually I put all of his stuff in bundles and they're gone.
Yeah.
Another one. This is also another series that I love. It's the Baby Lit Primers, and so by Jennifer Adams. And she takes like classic literature and then turns it into a primer. So this one is about counting. And it's from Pride and Prejudice, which we actually have this one. So you have one English village.
Yeah.
Two rich gentlemen. So my favorite one, we don't have at the library. I own it. It's the Jane Eyre one. And they've got like a bird hidden on every page. And my nieces and nephews like love.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah.
So, but she's got a whole line of primers as well that based on classic literature, like Alice in Wonderland, Moby Dick is like ocean stuff. There's Sense and Sensibility, it's like opposites. So that whole line is really fun as well.
Yeah.
And then my last one that I have is called Stack the Cats.
I love that one. Yeah.
Mess this up. It's by Susie Gerharamani. And this one's fun because you have the cats and you're gonna stack them. One cat sleeps and you're just gonna build, but then eventually stack. But then when you get to 6, you're like, oh, there's 6 cats, but you can have 2 stacks of 3. So then it starts introducing concepts.
Yeah, you can addition there.
And then eventually, like you have to turn it sideways.
Yes.
Which, so this is fun to like play. If this is like you could do a read aloud, but this is really fun in your hands because then like you can like help them point to it. You can turn it sideways and they can handle it. Yeah,
that's usually part of my cat theme, and that's a good one. Just for toddlers. You can do the simple counting and the simple level-wise reading content is good for a toddler level. But as you're pointing out, like the sort of a 3 + 3, you can do with older ages, those 4, 5, 6-year-olds, and they can see this simple addition, and you can have fun with that title. I've got a classic. Actually, I'm going to bring up the other one too, the original Chicka Chicka Boom Boom for Alphabet, but also there's Chicka Chicka 1, 2, 3, and this by Bill Martin, and I'm not sure who Michael Sampson is, but Luis Elhart. Now, the interesting thing about Bill Martin is he's that author everybody kind of knows. Like this is the Chicka Chicka Boom Boom is pretty well known. And then Brown Bear, What Do You See is a great colors book. But that's Eric Carlisle illustrated. So everybody forgets that Bill Martin's written all these like classics that are great for these simple knowledge learning books, Chicka Chicka 1, 2, 3. And it's basically, the letters going up the tree and then they all come down. It's very simple, but I love the rhyme and repetition of it, and it works really well. This one, go ahead. Yeah.
It's big numbers, right?
What's up? It goes up to 20, weirdly. I guess because it's trying to stay the same way as the alphabet one, which has, of course, 26 letters, including J. So I'm guessing trying to keep the same length of book, he goes up to 20. So as that might be good for a 3, 4, 5-year-old. And this one is kind of older. The humor, I just needed an excuse to bring up Oliver Jeffers, who's one of my,
love Oliver Jeffers.
Yes. The Heart in the Bottle literally makes me cry. Lost and Found, and The Moose Belongs to Me is another wonderful book.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. The Hueys, and so this is a whole series, but this one is a counting book. The Hueys in None is the Number. Trying to explain to a child what 0 or none means. Is none a number? Isn't that, we say 0 usually, but can we use the word none? And it kind of uses none in counting. And it's one Huey trying to explain to another Huey. And these are the cute little jelly bean people. It's like, and it goes just through the whole kind of explaining how none is a number. And then of course you get some actual counting. So, and it's just the most ridiculous things. Like, then 4, that's how many tantrums Kevin throws every day. So it's, it's a little sillier, and parents can laugh along with it. It's a good, I would say, 4 to 7-year-old book.
I like the Huey one with the sweaters.
Yes.
So funny. Another counting book that we don't have here. I didn't have it on my shelf. So it's Mac Barnett. It's Count the Monkeys.
Yes. I was thinking about grabbing that one too.
No monkeys.
Yeah.
So that would be higher, like kids who are pretty comfortable with numbers and we're like now having fun with it.
Yeah, it's almost a parody book of counting. So you're the whole time the child's thinking, well, we're going to count monkeys, but where's the monkey? So you're counting everything else, and it's just ridiculously different things.
And you can do almost no wrong with the book.
Yes.
Mac Barnett.
Yeah. And he's another author like Bill Martin. He's not an illustrator. So, and he's written some middle grade chapter books also. Yeah. But his books are very, it's great to see who he works with. John Clausen, he works with, of course, a lot. And I think that one's I forget who, I'm going to say it wrong. I forget who the illustrator. I think it's, oh gosh, I don't want to say it wrong, but yeah.
That's another fun, really fun.
It might be Adam Rex. I'm not 100%.
Maybe.
Yeah. I know there's another one at Guess Again, which is another fantastic Mac Barnett.
I have the magic word. That one kills me every time.
Yes. Magic word. So let's do some alphabet books.
Okay.
Go ahead with your titles.
Okay, so I have, this one is called just ABC Kids by Basher.
Yeah.
And it's really simple. Mm-hmm. It's fairly simple. So you get Arthur's angry aunt ate apples. So it gives you like a sentence with mostly that letter. Gives you the letter uppercase and lowercase. You've got a picture with the stuff. But what I really also like is that it gives you the whole alphabet at the bottom of each page.
That's great. Yeah.
That letter is.
So that does a little of everything for you right there.
Yeah. So I like, this is like really, I've never seen this in another one before. So I really like that.
That's amazing. Yeah.
So when parents come in looking, I always see if I have this on the shelf. Usually I don't, because I give it out a lot.
Yeah.
But I really like that one. Yeah. And then I just found this one and I used it in my ABC Storytime this time, and I love it. Yeah. It's the little red cat who ran away and learned his ABCs the hard way.
Yeah.
He writes comics.
Yeah.
He writes a bunch of stuff. He wrote a Halloween book that I like, The Monsters Monster. But what I like about this is that it's a wordless book.
Yeah.
So you just get this cat that's running away, and then you just get on the page, you get the letter, and you have to figure out what the story is. Mm-hmm. So you got an alligator. And so this was really fun because I could just tell the story however I wanted. I didn't have to worry about reading it. I was just telling the story, but we have our letters. Oh, there's a bear. Yeah. Oh, and now we've got a chicken. So, and you can just kind of do whatever you need to do. It's very silly. And then at the back, if you ever get stumped, he does have a legend. It's like, here are all the letters, and here's the thing on that.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. I could see a younger child or a younger brother or a older brother or sister reading it to the younger.
With the E, I was like looking at this for a minute. I'm like, what is it? I was like, oh, chicken laid an egg. Got it. Finally. Yeah. Anyway, that one I really like.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have one. This is advanced.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I've
So
got an
it's,
advanced one
oh
too.
yeah, diagram base.
Yeah. It's just a beautiful book.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So, but what's fun about this is like you can just spend forever looking at this. So we know that this is the E. It doesn't give you the E.
Yeah.
So it's eight enormous elephants expertly eating Easter eggs. So all of those words have E. But then if you look in the pictures, there's like hidden, like everything in here will have E's, and even in the background, you can't see it very well on this one. But like the gorillas ones, you know, you've got like a goblet, a gorilla,
Green.
a goat, a giraffe. Oh, that's a different G sound. You've got a gecko, you've got grapes, you've got a guitar. So like you can just spend tons and tons of time working with vocabulary and searching. Kids love to find stuff.
Yeah.
So this one, like this will last you years and years and years. Even after they've gotten their alphabet, like they'll come back when they're 10 and be like, oh, I found some more stuff. Ooh, here's a galleon. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
They'll just know the word ship, but later on they're gonna learn the word galleon. So then they can find the little galleon hidden right there.
Yeah.
So I really love this one. That's what I have.
Okay. Well, actually that one is a great segue to one of mine. And this is advanced. This like Anna Amelia. But as you know, the kind of, you know, the way kids learn to read is they start learning their letters, learning the letter sounds. Stop me if I'm forgetting something. They start learning their sight words.
They learn to put those sounds together.
Yeah. And then they do, and then they start learning decoding. But what happens with the English language, there's words that don't sound like they actually are pronounced. This one, P is for pterodactyl, the worst alphabet book ever. And just, this is hilarious for parents too. All the letters that misbehave and make words nearly impossible to pronounce. This is fantastic. I couldn't even read this during story time because I can't even pronounce. And I was one of those kids who really struggle with decoding. So, I just have to read at least, let's see. I'm finding a good one. Okay. Q is for quinoa. We can enjoy quinoa and quiche by the quays of Qatar. I think I can. But the good thing about it, and at the end, they do have the worst gallery ever. And then they have all the how to phonetically sound out the words. But yeah, they go through a lot. And like K is for knight. The noble knight's knife nicked the knave's knee. It's just like, it's.
It's always silent.
And it's a way to just let kids know, sorry, sometimes they're just.
This is the rule, except for when it isn't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you think there's rules, but there's not. Sorry, there's exceptions. Of course, the other one is kind of I already kind of introduced its counting sibling, but the Chicka Chicka Boom Boom, fantastic, just simple. It's nothing, nothing complicated. This is a great toddler learning the alphabet.
Yeah, and it's got the rhyming.
Yeah, and the rhyming, just and a good rhythm. And it, of course, keeps it in order so that starting A, B, C, you introduce each character, and then Chicka Chicka Boom Boom, and they all fall down. So, yeah, it's a classic. Definitely one to pick up for every kid, at least once or twice. I wanted to ask you, I'm sorry I didn't talk about it before, but so when you're doing your story times, how do you like to do you have any methods that you like to introduce letters and sounds? Anything?
I don't do that very often. Sometimes I'll do it, but I'll just introduce it if I'm working on a letter and write it for them and have them trace it in the air.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the thing that's worked most, like just in our house, is I've helped like teach my nieces and nephews kind of get comfortable with letters and reading. Is that song? I learned it from Leapfrog. I don't know where it came from, but just like the A says ah, the A says ah, every letter makes a sound, the A says ah, and just go through it. And I've got a nephew who has learned them.
Yeah.
And so like sometimes I'll tease him. I'll make the wrong sound. He's like, if I go out of order, I just jump. But another game that we like to play with my like younger nephews, nieces, we've got older ones and then younger ones, is for learning a letter. I'll say, oh, what sound does this letter make? And he'll tell me. And then we'll say, oh, what other words have that? And so we'll just like everyone in the room just starts chiming in, so I'll be like, what? We'll say, oh, here's a tree. What else starts with the t sound?
Yeah. And
just pointing it out all the time. That's a good way to help kids as they're starting. It's just like, just saying, oh, this starts with a T, T. Yeah. Just stopping what you're doing and just pointing it out is really helpful.
Okay. Yeah. We sometimes forget how important that is and really to stop and focus on that.
Yeah. And then you can also point out the ones like P is for pterodactyl. When sometimes he'll think of a word and he'll say it and I'm like, oh, that's really close. We'll be doing S's and he'll bring up a C word or something.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. I just remember as a kid, I couldn't decode spaghetti for the life of me. I had to work on that one for years. So, yeah.
There's some words that I'm just going to tell you now that I am a bad speller. And especially because I did some of my schooling in Canada and they use English spelling. Yeah. Not American spelling. And so like I was writing papers up there and they're like, you're spelling this wrong. I'm like, oh, sorry. And I read a lot of British literature. So I use some British spelling. Sometimes a lot of times I just spelled wrong. Yeah. And it's the more I read and the more education I got, the worse it got. So, yeah, exactly. It's just,
it's very true.
Like last year finally stopped misspelling restaurant.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I had to think about it for a second when you said it. Yeah. I had to break it up and yeah.
And like some of those rules that you have, like the I before E, except like they never apply. And so like it took me forever to learn how to spell French, which is
yeah.
So I think just making sure that kids understand this is hard. It's okay. Just be patient. And if you never get it, you have spell check now.
Very true. Yeah.
We forgive ourselves for being, some of our skills are in other areas.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to ask. Yeah. If you don't know a word. Yeah.
All the time. I ask all the time.
Yeah.
How do you spell this? And it's a lot of time it's a real simple word, but it just, for some reason, it sounds wrong that day.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Do you have any programs coming up, Ashley?
I just got story time continuing on. I'm on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9:30. And we've got one on Wednesdays at 2:30 in the afternoon, I believe, right?
Okay, yeah.
And then yours is on?
On Friday at 10:30. Yeah, I've been doing the 10 o'clock. Yeah, it's been going well. Also, I have outside of this, I have a sketch drawing program. I have a coworker who's a fantastic drawer. I'm awful, but I can at least moderate the chat and share some pictures people send me. And we've been having a good group. Our next one's October 28th on 4 p.m. You can register for that online. All right. Okay, thank you for watching. Our library buildings are still closed, but we are offering curbside service. Check our website for curbside hours at your branch, www.fresnolibrary.org. Make sure to like our Facebook page and check out our YouTube page where we'll be posting this. Have a good day. Bye.